My Mike had never been deceitful before we moved to the big house, but I was convinced that he was an impressionable boy and had been influenced by Kevin and Marjorie from downstairs. Whatever it was the boys had found behind the marble staircase, I was determined that the contents, whatever they were, should be returned to the proper owner. Bert and I decided to investigate the contents of the box to find out more.
Is he asleep?
I think so. He's a bit scared he might be in trouble with the police.
I've never had this trouble at the cottage. He was quite happy with his own company there. I've never taken to that Vera woman and her kids. She's a nosy cow and the kids are too bloody shifty by half.
Oh, don't be too hard on them. I think they're even worse off than us, if that's possible.
It might help if that husband of hers got himself out of bed during the day.
George? He's on night shifts.
Oh, that's what she told you, is it? God knows where he's working. None of the factories on the valleys are on night shifts. You know what I think?
No, but I suppose you're going to tell me.
I think he does a bit of poaching and slips into any open windows he sees when he's on his rounds. And that boy of theirs takes after him. He's a bad influence on Mike, I'm certain.
It's boys. They're always up to some mischief or other. This stuff they found behind the stairs, it must have been there for years. It's hardly stealing.
He would never have done this sort of thing back at the cottage.
Well, if you're so worried about the neighbours being a bad influence, why don't we buy ourselves a little cottage somewhere? A house of our own. This place is freezing cold, gives me the creeps at night. Did you know the roof over Mike's room is letting in water?
Have you any idea how much a cottage with a couple of bedrooms around here would cost?
£200-300, I suppose.
And where would we get money like that from?
Well, there's ways. Could be borrowed.
I'm not borrowing that much money only to have to pay it back on instalments for the rest of our lives. What happens if I lose my job? We'd be out on the streets again and the council might not be quite so ready to rehouse us in an emergency for a second time.
I could work. Earn some extra.
I see. And supposing there was some sort of work for somebody like you with bugger all experience apart from cooking and cleaning, what do you think would happen to Mike? Him and his friend from downstairs would be running wild and into Borstal before you could say knife.
Oh, so I've got a lifetime of skivvying ahead of me, and our son is an apprentice jailbird. Well, thank you very bloody much for that vote of confidence in your family.
I am not getting myself into a lifetime of debt for some damp, tumble-down cottage just because your son can't behave himself. It might help if you kept a bit better control on him rather than sit around dreaming up fancy ideas about buying houses. I'm going down the pub.
What about sorting out this stuff in the box?
I'll burn it with the rubbish. That's what it is. Bloody old rubbish.
Oh, well, Sally, my girl. He may not be interested in what's in the box, but who knows? It may be stuff with fivers. Where's the bread knife? Let's get this string cut. Who the hell is that creeping about? God, I hate this place at night. Don't come any further, I've got a knife!
Mum, it's all right.
God, it's you. Oh, what are you creeping around for? I thought you were asleep.
I was, but I heard some shouting.
Oh, that was just your father in a mood.
Mum, are you opening the box?
He says burn it, but I thought I'd better check it wasn't full of cash before we put it on the bonfire.
God, yeah. We could get a radiogram then. Let's see.
Wait. I want to make sure there are no more of those awful pictures.
What's in there? Any fivers?
Just letters, I'm afraid, Mike. Just dusty old letters.
Can you save me the stamps, Mum? Don't burn the stamps. Look, there's the old king that abdicated on this one. And some from Malta, Italia, Hispania. That's Italy and Spain. Did you know? Here's Hitler, Dutchland. That's Germany, see? There's lots the same. I'd have loads of swaps. Can I take them to school? Jimmy Payne collects stamps too. I bet I could do some good swaps with him. He's got some super triangle stamps from Nicaragua. I bet he'd swap a triangle one for Hitler.
Can you stop? You're giving me a headache. You get to bed before your father comes back. I'll see about the stamps. Now get upstairs. Now.
Don't burn the stamps, Mum, please.
I'll see what your father says. Now scram.
Can I have a drink of water?
No. Bed.
Can I take a Hitler one to bed?
There. That's the outside door. Your father's back and you're not in bed. Here, take some of these if it'll keep you quiet. Now get to bed. That was a short drink.
Bloody dog, I've stepped in some shit.
Don't walk it through the flat. Take your shoe off.
Oh, I'm going back out. Forgot to take some money.
Which money would that be? The rent money? The milk money? The insurance? The money for the gas meter? Oh dear, none in that tin. What shall we do when the gas fire goes out? I know. Let's sit here and freeze for a change.
I could do the gas meter.
Oh, wonderful. You go on about George downstairs pinching a few rabbits from the field as though he's a master criminal. And in the meantime, you're considering taking a hacksaw to the gas meter, risking 5 years inside.
Oh, don't be so stupid. It's never 5 years. It's 2 at the most. If they catch you.
2 years, if they catch you. Well, that'd be highly bloody unlikely, I must say. Grow up, please. You put us both inside.
All right. I'll go and catch a sodding rabbit. See if you can stuff that in a meter slot.
It might be better if you smartened yourself up a bit and got a decent job instead of coming home filthy from that foundry every night.
Sod the rent. And sod you, bitch.
Charming. Wow. Let's see if the wireless can be a bit more friendly.
That was Cyril Stapleton and the BBC Dance Orchestra. This is the BBC Light Programme. Here is the 9 o'clock news. Princess Elizabeth has taken the salute in the annual Trooping of the Colour today, for the first time in place of the King, who is indisposed. Thousands of well-wishers lining the Mall sang God Save the King as the Princess passed en route to Horsecart Parade. The search goes on across Europe for the 2 missing British diplomats, Guy Burgess and Donald Maclean, who disappeared from London last week. It is believed in some quarters that they may have been undercover Soviet agents. Mr. Dean Acheson, the American Secretary of State, in a statement today indicated...
Oh, for God's sake. Come in, Vera.
Hello. Not busy, are you?
Hold on, I'll turn the wireless off. Sorry, what did you say?
Wondered if you were busy. George is off to work, the kids are in bed, and I heard Bert go out. Have a chat, like?
Oh, yes, he's gone for a drink.
Row, is it?
Pardon?
He slammed the door. Twice. Thought you might have had a row.
Oh, no. Just in a mood. He's very moody sometimes.
Oh, I got one like that. Bloody glad he's on nights. Here. The rent tin's on the floor. Empty, I see. Drinking the rent, is he?
Was there anything in particular you wanted, Vera? Only I'm trying to tidy up a bit.
No, just a chat like. You heard the news?
No, not really. I just had it on for company.
Oh, the poor King's very ill, you know. Indisposed, they call it. I reckon it's something worse than indisposed. To miss the trooping and all. What's that you're doing?
Just tidying up some papers and letters. Still in the boxes from our move.
Ah, I see. Love letters, is it? The old man caught you reading stuff from an old flame, did he?
Why, Vera, how did you guess? Well, yes. I'm actually checking my old lover's address, packing up my stuff tonight, and I'll be meeting him on the Austrian border, where we'll cross over to Russia and spend the rest of our lives together making love in the Kremlin.
What? You're mixed up with that Berghaus and Mac what's name, the spies?
Why, of course. I live with a miserable sod of a husband with not a penny to our names, no food to speak of in the cupboard, miles from the nearest cinema or dance hall, with nosy bloody neighbours, in a barn of a house that's impossible to heat, to hide my real identity. Why else would I do it?
Well, if you're going to be like that, I'll push off.
You do that, and bloody knock on the door next time you want to nose around.
Don't you worry. There won't be no next time.
And now, from the Tower Ballroom in Blackpool, Reginald Dixon at the theatre organ will be entertaining you.
Oh, no, he won't, matey. Let's sort this box and get rid of it. Now, that's the pre-war pile. That's the stuff with no dates. That's for wartime, and that's after the war. I can like these. American stamps. Oh, no, here we go again. Electric's gone off. Bloody glad I didn't throw the candlesticks out when we came here. It's you again. I thought I told you to get to bed.
I was in bed reading, but the lights keep going out. I thought I'd let you know.
Funnily enough, they're going out down here as well. Any excuse, isn't it?
Well, it's a bit creepy up there in the attic. Can we look at some stamps?
Here, light the other candle. I'll see if I can find some more in the kitchen cupboard. I was never very fond of that kitchen at the best of times, but with the lights off and flickering candles in the next room casting eerie shadows on the wall, I thought I saw something hanging from that hook in the kitchen. Remembering the suicide of the previous tenant, I screamed out loud and ran back to Mike in the sitting room. The poor kid looked as petrified as I felt.
What's wrong, Mum? Are you all right?
Oh, my God, there's something hanging from that hook.
What?
Oh, thank God. Oh, the power's back on. There's something in the kitchen. Just stay put.
What is it, Mum?
Nothing. Oh, just the shadow of a tree coming through the window, I expect. Come on, let's have a cup of tea. We can go through these envelopes till Dad comes home.
Oh, I can stay up.
I don't want you getting scared up in that attic if the lights go off again.
Oh, I don't mind.
Let's sort the stamps, shall we? Put the wireless on for a bit of music. Come on, let's have a dance.
I want to hear no more about it. No. Oh, Alice, can you finish the grate quickly? I have to talk to Miss Isabel.
Right you are, sir. Just finishing the blacking.
I'm afraid that is unacceptable, Father. I'm 18. Old enough to think for myself. I've decided that is what I am doing, and you have no say in the matter.
You have not reached the age of majority. I refuse to allow it.
You can refuse all you like, it's settled. There's a trip organised from the village.
Trip? Trip? You make it sound like a Saturday charabanc out into Weston-super-Mare. Planning this little excursion could result in you being jailed for 2 years. You know that, do you? Who else is going on this trip?
Ben Daniels.
So sorry, sir. I'll finish off later.
You and just one stupid village boy?
There are others from around the district.
And just what do you think you and Daniels can contribute to the International Brigade? I assume that's the side you've chosen to support. That's the popular cause at the moment, I believe.
I can speak Spanish. I could do nursing, drive an ambulance.
An ambulance? You can't drive.
I've driven a tractor around the estate here, and I'm pretty damn sure they won't be checking my driver's licence.
Where on earth have you got this fool idea from? At the village half-wits, I suppose?
No, actually. I had a long talk with Guy Burgess on Saturday night. Made me think for myself for a change.
Burgess? Well, that just shows you how addled your brain is. He would never countenance support for the communist rabble.
How little you know, Father.
What on earth are you two arguing about now? You've sent Alice off in floods of tears.
It's probably my fault. She didn't know her brother was planning on leaving for Spain. With me.
With you? Oh, my dear.
Can you tell her, Elizabeth? I've tried to reason with her, but she will not listen.
Reason with her? To what purpose?
To stop her going, of course.
I'm not sure that I want to do that.
I will have no daughter of mine supporting some lost cause in a foreign country where she is highly likely to be bombed into oblivion.
Do you really want to do this, dear?
Of course. We've been talking about it in the village for months now, and Guy Burgess just tipped the scales on Saturday evening. He opened my eyes.
This is preposterous. You dreamed the whole thing. Burgess is a staunch supporter of Franco. He has close friends reporting out there, debunking all those communist myths. Read the Times if you don't believe me.
So I'm highly unlikely to be bombed and shot then. They were all just fairy stories. The Basque refugees were a figment of someone's imagination, including your friend McNamara.
I can't see you have any hold over her, John.
This is my final word. She will not be involved in such a suicidal scheme. You will not go. I have to prepare a sermon.
Prepare a sermon? All he needs is a deliciously sanctimonious title. What shall we call it this Sunday? Let me see. Ah, yes. God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are.
Well, if it's any comfort to you, I think you should go, if that's what you want. Of course, I wouldn't wish you injured or hurt. Sit down. I have something to tell you which might be of help.
You won't change my mind.
I know. I'm not about to try. Do you remember when we lived in Gibraltar?
A little. I remember Malta better.
Of course. You could have been only a year old when we left for Valletta. I don't think I need to tell you that your father has always been a difficult man as far as relationships are concerned.
Don't bother to spell it out, Mother. I have a fair idea of what goes on beyond the marble staircase. Even more graphically after seeing Guy's notes on their meetings with McNamara.
He wrote things down? For what reason?
He keeps a diary. Like most journalists, I suppose. Don't fret about scandals. Guy is very discreet when he wants to be. We had a long talk, and I'm sure whatever went on here will remain a secret.
I think you have more faith in your father, even though it's his living.
Father's ideals are set safely in the spiritual world. I'm afraid I prefer dealing with the here and now. I think Guy is someone with well-defined earthly convictions. It's the first time I've met anyone who made me wish I could do something with my life, instead of wasting my time rotting in this village. Anyhow, you'll tell me about Gibraltar.
Yes, Gibraltar. I had no inkling when we were first married about your father's difficulty with women. We had what I considered a perfectly normal courtship. He was very considerate and kind. It was only when we started travelling with his diocese postings that he became somewhat standoffish. I put it down to the different climate and the strain of the work. But one day I found him with a young man when we were living in Naples. They were in our bedroom, our bed together. It took me a little while to work out what exactly was going on. I was very naive, you see. He was the only man I had been with. It was all very difficult. You must understand that in my young days such things were never discussed. I felt so stupid.
But, Mummy, it's perfectly understandable. I'm not sure what I would do in the same circumstances. It wasn't your fault.
I was clearly not what he expected in a wife.
I don't pretend to know an awful lot about these things, but I'm sure that this condition is not acquired, it's an accident of birth. Guy was trying to explain it to me the other night. Believe me, was not your doing. Men in Father's position have to be seen to be normal, whatever that might be. But one of the prerequisites is the pretence of a family life. Wives have to be paraded like medieval chattels to satisfy some unwritten rule. It has happened that you have had to suffer that burden. But it isn't you.
That was no excuse.
Excuse for what?
I took a lover, soon after we got to Gibraltar. This Spaniard had something to do with promoting Christian unity and was a frequent visitor to our home in Gibraltar. There were times when your father was away in the diocese, Malta, Naples, the Balkans, and this Felipe and I became friends. He would take me on wonderful trips across the border into Spain. For some reason, the crossing was closed on one particular night when he was bringing me home, so I stayed at his villa. It all started from there.
How long did it go on for?
Until we were posted to Valletta.
Did Father ever suspect?
Not at first, no. I don't think he was interested in what I was doing.
So did it ever come out in the open?
When I became pregnant, yes.
Oh, Mummy, did you have the child?
Yes, of course.
So what happened? Was it adopted?
That was spoken of, but I could never have given you away.
Me? But...
So now you know why I think you should go to Spain or wherever you want to, and why your father, that is the canon, has little or no right to hold you back.
Oh, my God! All these years, and I wasn't told. What about this Felipe? My father, where is he in all this?
He never knew. We had to be very careful with your father's, John's position. Felipe never knew he had a daughter.
Are you still in contact with him?
Oh, no. The last I heard of him was through an old friend. He was killed near Guernica at the time of the dreadful bombing.
Oh, no, how awful. Do you know any more? Is there a grave?
I really don't know, my darling. I've heard nothing from my friend for months. The communications, the postal system is so bad.
Well, as if my mind wasn't made up before, this settles it. At least I can feel I'm doing something toward the cause that my father died for.
Well, that isn't strictly true.
Of course it is. You said he died in the Guernica bombing.
No, he died near Guernica. His aeroplane crashed. He had trained as a pilot for Franco's Air Force. It seems he was one of the few that was shot down.
He was for Franco? A fascist?
Oh, no. He was a dear, dear man. He loved flying. That could be the only reason he joined up. He tried to persuade me to go up on one of those stick-and-string biplanes many times. His descriptions of the Mediterranean and the Sierras from the air were just spellbinding. I was just too scared to take him up on it.
So, he loved flying so much that he couldn't wait to get his hands on a brand new dive bomber and do some sightseeing over defenceless Spanish villages. My God, I've got two fathers. One is a mass murderer and the other a perverted hypocrite.
Oh, Isabel, really, that is quite unfair on both counts.
Whatever you do, Mother, never, ever give me advice on marriage, life, anything.
Sorry, Mum. I have to finish the grate.
Oh, carry on, Alice, I'll get out of your way. Are you feeling better?
Oh, yes, Mum. If you don't mind me asking, Mum, is it true that Miss Isabel is going off to Spain?
If she gets her own way, yes. Isn't your brother involved in this too?
Yes, Mum. It's caused all sorts of ructions at home. Is there anything you or the canon could do to stop it? Ma and Pa have already lost one boy. I don't want them to lose another.
Alice, I regret to say that I have little or no influence on the members of my family. Furthermore, it seems most of the decisions I've made in my own life have been misguided in some way or another. In consequence, I would hesitate even to advise you on how to lay the table for breakfast tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Things got no better, so despite Bert's attitude, I found a cleaning job in the village, but I always made sure I was home before Mike came in from school. He went through a bad time with his ears and started having time off from school, which meant I had to leave him on his own sometimes. He didn't mind his own company. As long as he had his stamp collection and the wireless, he was quite happy.
Hello, young man. Is your mother or father in?
No, sorry, they're both out.
Perhaps you can help me. May I come in?
I suppose so. You'll have to wait. Mum will be back soon. She does a half day today. Would you like a glass of milk?
Milk? Oh, no, thank you. Shouldn't you be at school today?
Oh, I was bad this morning.
Bad? What did you do?
Bad earache, I mean. See? I got cotton wool in my ears.
And you've been on your own?
Well, I'm over 11.
Ah, quite grown up then. Do you mind if I sit with you at the table?
Don't mess up my stamps. I'm sorting them out. I can manage, okay? Mum's back for dinner.
Not till this evening.
No, at 1 o'clock, like school dinners.
Ah, lunch.
She won't be long. She's got a cleaning job in the village. Will she be expecting you to be here? Only I've been told not to let anybody in. You're not a truant inspector, are you? I really have been bad.
No, I was just passing. I thought I'd call in. I did knock at some other flats, but there didn't seem to be anybody around.
All out at work or school today, I expect. Except George downstairs. I hope you didn't wake him. He works nights.
It's a lovely room. Oh, I see you have the old servant's bell still on the wall over there.
Don't touch that. If you haven't woken George already, that will.
Oh, I see it still works then.
I only tried it once, but I got into real trouble.
Do you like living here?
It's okay. It's a bit cold. My bedroom ceiling leaks when it rains, and Kev's dog's always barking.
Have you found the tunnel in the woods that comes out halfway into the village?
I found a tunnel entrance, but it's all blocked up. How do you know about that anyway?
Hiya, Mikey, how's the ear? Oh, hello, who are you? He really has been bad, you know. It's his ear again.
I'm so sorry. Oh, I see. No, I'm not from the school. I'm Isabel Rodrigo. I'm really sorry to trouble you, but I was looking for a friend who I thought lived here. Your son seemed to be the only one at home in the whole place.
Does your friend live in the flats?
This is the last address I have for her. Alice Daniels. Do you know the name?
No, I'm afraid not. But we've only been here a couple of months. I'm pretty sure there's no one here in the flats by that name. Maybe the council would know something.
Of course, the house is owned by the council now. How silly of me not to remember. I shall call them. Do you have a telephone?
No, I'm sorry. Oh, we were thinking of having one in, but there's a shortage of lines, I believe.
Mum, you didn't tell me we were getting a phone.
The nearest would be the phone box in the village.
Ah, yes, the phone box. Is there still a village pump?
I think so, but most of the village is on the mains. Has been since the war, as far as I know. Oh, I do apologise. Did you want a drink of water? I wasn't thinking.
No, really. Mike has already offered me a glass of milk. You have a very polite boy there, you know.
He has his moments.
Gosh, is this your stamp album, Mike? Where did you get so many old envelopes with foreign stamps on?
Kev and me found them behind the boarded up staircase.
You've just got the envelopes, no letters.
No, Dad burned them. None of our business, he said. He saved the stamps for me, though. He burned the photos too.
That'll do, Mike. I'm sure the lady has to hurry along to make that telephone call.
Ah, yes, local civil servants. I might just catch someone after their lunch break and before they slip off early to attend a vital meeting. At least you don't have the siesta to deal with here.
Pardon?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't explain myself properly. I live in Spain, Santander. Most people have a snooze and shut up shop after lunch where I live. I still haven't got used to it. I'm only here on a trip to catch up with some old friends and family.
You don't sound Spanish.
No, that's because I'm not. I was brought up in England, not 1,000,000 miles from here.
Is that how you know about the tunnel?
Aha.
Did you know this house when just one family lived here?
Maybe.
Mike, don't pester the lady.
Not at all. Now, Mike, I bet you'd like to know some more secrets about this house, wouldn't you? About the ghost, the secret bell tower, and lots of other weird things.
Oh, not off.
I'll tell you what I'll do. If your mum says it's all right. I'll make my phone call from the box, go to the village shop for some cream cakes and bring them back here. Then we'll all have a tea party and I'll tell you more secrets about the house. You never know, you might be able to help me.
Me? Help you? I don't know how.
You would be surprised.
That's very kind of you. There's really no need to...
Nonsense, it would be a pleasure. I haven't had a proper tea party in ages. Foreigners have no idea how to make a really nice cup of tea, you know. I'll see you shortly. Is that a deal?
Oh, I'll say it's a deal.
I'll see you out. Now look what you've done. She's coming back here expecting china cups and silver trays and cake stands. All we've got is some thick old stained mugs and a brown teapot.
I don't care about the tea, as long as she brings the cakes.
Oh, hello, Vera. Home from work already? What is it now?
Visitors, is it?
Sorry.
Who was Lady Muck, has just swanned off in a posh car?
You really have got the cheek of the devil. It's none of your business, actually.
I was only being neighbourly. I see her coming down the stairs from your flat. I didn't think anybody was in. She could have taken anything.
Of course. She was after our set of silver fish knives and forks and the bundle of cash I keep under the bed.
Well, how was I to know? Burglars don't always wear a black mask and striped jerseys, you know.
They do in the Beano.
Get on with your stamp collection, young man. You've got me into enough trouble already for one day with your clever clogs back chat.
Not at school, then?
I've got bad ears.
There'll be thick ears into the bargain if you don't mind your own business.
Ah, well, as long as everything's all right, I'll be off it. You're not going to tell me who your rich friend was?
Actually, Vera, I wonder if you could do me a favour.
Depends. Forget it if it's a loan.
Have you got a decent tea set?
Got my best. Only used it once since we was married. Lovely Japanese bone china it is. An uncle on George's side was a sailor. He brought it back from Osaka. Didn't cost him much, a packet of fags and a bar of soap, I think. But it is lovely.
Would you lend it to us just for today, this afternoon?
Tea party now, is it?
That lady's coming back for tea. We've only got cracked mugs.
Well, I don't know. I'd have to ask George. Tell you what, I'll lend it to you under one condition. I stay with the tea set to look after it, like. It's a very precious family heirloom.
Oh, Mum, she's our friend.
Mike, what did I say?
What did you say about what?
Oh, just keep quiet for God's sake. Have you got a cake stand to go with it?
You'll be wanting double damask in the napkins next.
Why, have you got some of them too?
Look, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll bring up all I've got for a tea party, and you tell me who this posh woman is. A rich cousin, is it?
No, of course not. We're not related to anybody rich. She used to live around here. She's looking for a friend of hers.
There you are. I'll probably be able to help her. I know you think I'm nosy.
Oh, whatever gave you that impression?
But it pays sometimes to keep your ears and eyes open. Did she tell you the name of her friend?
She did, but I can't remember it. Mike, what was the name?
Dan somebody. She's bringing cream cakes.
Oh, he remembers that all right.
Don't know of a Dan. I'll ask George. Anyhow, I'll unpack the tea set and bring it up. Toodaloo!
Oh, Mum, why did you have to invite her? There'll only be enough cream cakes for 3.
She can have mine, I don't care. What I do care about is this mess you've made on the table. Come on, tidy up. Get those stamps put away.
Do you think it's true about the ghost, Mum?
I shouldn't be at all surprised. This place is real creepy at night.
She's right about the bell tower, but it's not really secret.
Oh, really?
Kev found it. He climbed on the lead roof out the back. The bell doesn't work, though. It's all cracked.
What on earth was he doing clambering about on the roof? His mother would have kittens if she knew.
It's all right. I held on to him with a rope.
What? You were out there too?
No, I hung out the skylight, holding the rope.
Don't tell me any more. Just stay away from that roof, do you hear?
Kev's dad goes out there too for the lead. That's how Kev found the bell.
You mean he's stripping the lead off the roof?
Cooey? I've got the crockery. The lid of the teapot got broke, but it don't notice much. And that saucer's cracked. I'll use that one. Oh, the handle's come off that cup. Now, how did that happen? Keep the best set for her ladyship.
It's very dainty.
See the Japanese lady in the bottom of the cup?
Lovely.
It's very rare, is that? Worth a small fortune, I shouldn't wonder. You'll have to be extra careful.
Oh, that'll be her back already. Put the kettle on, would you, Vera? I'll let her in.
There you are, young man. A promise kept. Cream cakes.
Oh, cool, thanks. Can I look?
That is very kind, thank you. Oh, this is Vera. She thought she might be able to help out with finding your friend.
Pleasure, I'm sure. We were just having tea, weren't we, Sally? Have a regular get-together of an afternoon. Glad you could join us.
Lovely. A real tea party. I did try to buy some more treats, but they were either out of stock or on the ration, and I haven't got a ration book.
Did you get any news of your friend?
Oh, it seems the siesta habit is spreading. I couldn't get hold of anyone in the housing department. They were all at mythical meetings, and by the time I got to someone who sounded halfway sensible, my pennies ran out. So, in a word, no, I have no news. But plenty of cream cakes to go with tea.
Vera's been here a lot longer than us. Perhaps she can help.
Well, you never know. I tried to keep up to date. What was this person's name?
Alice. Alice Daniels. She lived on her own.
Oh, no.
What is it, Vera?
She lived in this flat?
Yes, I'd heard she was given a flat by the council when my family moved out and the place was sold up.
Was she the last tenant here, Vera?
Well, yes, she was.
So you know where she moved to?
I'm afraid she didn't move, Mrs. Rodrigo. She died here.
My George found her. She hung herself on the hook in the kitchen.
Oh, when did this happen?
Last year, October time.
Oh, that poor, poor girl.
She wasn't really a girl. It is the same person, I hope.
Oh, yes. The last time I saw her was when she was quite young, in her 20s, I suppose.
Did you visit her here?
She worked for my family here. I lived here before the war. Families like ours had servants then. She promised to look after some things for me.
That's how you knew about the tunnel and the bell.
Yes.
But you said she was a friend.
She became a friend. I went to Spain with her brother Ben.
I never knew she had a brother. She had her parents in the village, but they died off. They did say she done herself in because she had nobody. Took her own life while her mind was unbalanced, it said in the paper. Here, come here. That's the hook she done it from.
Well, thank you. I really need that cup of tea. This is all a bit of a shock.
Of course it is. Vera, I really don't think Mrs. Rodrigo needed the full details. Are you all right?
I just need to take it in. I'm sorry. I thought I'd find her here. Come on, Mike, let's get these cakes organised.
If you say she had a brother, why didn't he come and see her?
He was killed in the Spanish War. He managed to get bombed by the Germans while they were practising for the real war in Europe.
I've got some Hitler stamps.
I know. Those envelopes were from letters sent to my father from his friends. And others were from him as he travelled around Europe with his job. There should be some from Malta and Italy and Spain.
Oh yeah, I used some of them for swaps. Was he a special agent during the war?
No. He was a clergyman.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. We've burned your family letters. We didn't know. And the photos were a bit...
Yes, I know. Best place for them on the fire. Please don't worry. I didn't really get on with my family. That's why I went to Spain, really.
Were you in that war too?
Sort of. I drove an ambulance.
Cool, that's great.
I'm wondering, did you come across anything else behind the boarded up staircase?
It was just that box of letters, wasn't it, Mike?
Well,
There was that briefcase that Kev brought down. It was all locked up, though. He couldn't open it. I think it's still under his bed.
Now that is something I really would like to rescue. And to prove it's mine, I have the key here in my handbag.
Look, I think I'll have to get back. George will be wanting a meal soon, and I haven't even peeled a potato. Mike, you come down with me and see if we can find this briefcase for Mrs. Rodrigo.
Oh, do I have to, Mum?
I think this lady would very much like her property back, wouldn't you?
Thank you, Mike. It's quite important to me.
Would you excuse me for just a moment? I put the sheets on the line this morning. I think it's coming on to rain.
No, please go ahead. I can amuse myself trying to remember this room as it was. Oh, yes. This was the room.
Look, darling, I'm a professional at this.
You've got to fool me.
You have to have a fall back position.
Well, if you stood up now, you have a fall over position.
Where the devil's my bag? Ah, yes. See these recordings? I have a shrewd suspicion that the man Churchill is no fool. If anyone is going to stand up to the Nazis, it's him.
Good, well, bully for him. He'll need a little help.
Now, I may be a teeny bit off centre here, but he could be in a considerable position of power at some time in the very near future. Should I unfortunately get rumbled at any time when he is in this said position, here is my fallback, my recordings.
You'll play some dance music and everything will be alright.
Do try to keep up, girl. These discs contain some very boring interviews with our man, and, unbeknown to him, some very, very naughty invitations when he thought the recording machine was off.
Blackmail.
I prefer fallback.
But what if Mr. Churchill ends up with no power at all?
What if? What if? You're beginning to sound like a schoolmaster.
You've got other discs.
Not necessarily discs, but I have a Pandora's box from which to select.
Oh, like the notes on Jack McNamara, Member of Parliament, meeting with my father beyond the marble staircase.
You're beginning to catch on. Maybe you should be a spy after all.
Oh, you viper in the nest, you. I don't know whether I approve or not.
I'm not looking for approval. I'm looking for survival.
And world domination at some later date, perhaps.
That would be quite acceptable, yes. Sooner rather than later, though.
Can I get you another drink?
Can I get you another drink?
Oh, that would be nice, yes. I see Mike is enjoying the cream cakes.
He wouldn't be a boy if he didn't. Listen, I'm sorry about your friend. Vera isn't the most tactful of characters either. You know, the hook and everything.
Oh, please don't worry about it. If I'd have been in more regular touch with Alice, maybe I could have helped stop her doing what she did. I feel responsible in a way. Maybe her brother would have been around too if I hadn't been so headstrong years ago. Who knows?
Here's the bag. It was under Kev's bed. He scratched it a bit trying to open it, but it's all here.
Oh, thank you, Mike. What a clever boy. Now let's see if the key still works.
Any more stamps?
Just old papers. These very old records.
Oh no, we can't play them. We haven't got a radiogram. Is it music?
No, just some old talk programmes from the BBC.
Oh, what, like Dick Barton, special agent?
In a way, yes.
Oh, Mum, I wish we had a radiogram.
Oh, I don't think you'd find these very exciting. I really should have been looking after this bag for a friend. Not very good at it, was I?
Well, I'm glad we could help.
In fact, I've been given the whole boring job of getting all my friend's stuff together to send it off to him. He's had to go abroad with his job unexpectedly. Left me to tidy up after him. I really must make a move.
You haven't finished your cake.
Honestly, I really must be going. I have a flat to clear out in London. It was so nice to meet you. I can see the house is in good hands. Goodbye. And thank you so much, Mike. Ugh.
What a nice lady.
Oh, could have done without the sloppy kiss. Oh no, she forgot to tell us about the ghost.
Don't be silly, Mike. Ghosts don't exist. I think. Some months after Isabel's flying visit, I came home one evening after a hard day at my cleaning jobs to find Bert in a foul mood, obviously waiting to start an argument about something or other. The strain of living from hand to mouth was affecting all of us, but he, of the three of us, seemed to be finding it most difficult to cope with. Any little thing seemed to blow up into a full-scale family row. I could tell something had set him off again. I don't know whether it's me, but winter seems to start earlier and earlier.
But where have you bloody been?
It's Thursday. You know damn well I do 2 cleaning jobs today. I went to the village shop to buy something for your supper and walked home. Now, I'm very tired and would like to make myself a cup of tea, if you don't mind.
I knew you were up to something, taking on these cleaning jobs.
Oh, clever old you. We've discussed this before. I want to get a place of our own, and as far as I can see, that's the only way to get the money to put away for it.
Not if you're getting stuff on the Never Never as soon as you've earned it, you won't.
What are you talking about? I want to sit down with a cup of tea.
This is what I'm talking about.
That? What is that?
It looks very much to me as if it's a radiogram. Probably 10 valves, 3-band radio and a record changer that takes 10 records. And oh, what have we here? 20 or 30 records. Enough to keep you dancing around with that stupid sono hours for what? Oh, a couple of hours.
It's all classical. You can't dance to those.
And what would that have come to from Curry's now? Let me see. Nice walnut cabinet, bit of ebonised wood, beautifully hinged lid, 12-inch speaker, lovely sound. Let's say 125 guineas, shall we, madam? Now that's just 10 guineas down, madam, and the rest on easy payments over, 3 years, shall we make it?
But I didn't do it.
So, madam, that's £5.15 a month for the next 36 months. Just sign here, madam. And of course, if you fail to pay at any time, we'll take the goods back, and we always prosecute. Good day. And you were the one that was scared of putting a few foreign coins in the gas meter.
Can you get it into your thick head? I have signed up for nothing. They wouldn't take my signature anyway. It would have to be yours.
So you know all about that. On approval, is it? Well, it can go back. Now.
Look, I have never seen this thing before, and I certainly wouldn't buy it on the Never Never, and I wouldn't know where to send it back to.
So it just appeared, did it?
As far as I'm concerned, it did. It certainly wasn't here when I left this morning. Perhaps Mike knows about it. He was off school again. Oh, there you are.
Mum, Dad, can Kev come up and see the new radiogram?
What?
Is this something to do with you?
Well, yeah.
And?
It was delivered this morning. 2 men in a van came. They said it was for us and brought it in.
Just brought it in and left it?
Well, yeah.
Mike, please can you explain? People don't just deliver expensive pieces of equipment, say nothing and leave.
Well, they did. There's an envelope and it's addressed to you, Mum.
Ah, the HP agreement.
Dear Sally, I hope this won't come as a shock to you, but I don't know if you remember...
I was going to London to clear out a friend's flat. Well, as you can imagine, there was a great deal to get rid of. It was difficult to even give most things away. But when I saw this radiogram, I knew immediately who would love it and care for it. Please don't worry about me giving it away on behalf of this friend. He always impressed on me the value of the redistribution of wealth. I must say I rarely saw him trying to carry out this fine ideal, but I'm sure he would approve of my action. You may not like the records I've included. They're a bit classical. That's all he had.
But please persevere with them. Some of them are really quite tuneful, and it's something to play while you start your own collection. Once again, thank you for your hospitality, and a big thank you to Mike and his friend for finding the long-lost briefcase. My friend was so pleased to get it back. My very best wishes to all at the house. Regards, Isabel Rodrigo.
Well, I'll be damned.
Hey, listen to this one, Mum. It's not bad for classical.
That's lovely. Come on, Mikey, let's dance.